Hi guys, my name's Terrie and I'm here to take you through your calming and toning series. So I hope you're all fit and well today, and on that note we're going to begin. We're going to start in our child's pose, but we're going to bring our big toes to kiss and we're going to take our knees as wide as our mat. So we're going to start to warm and create space within our hips. So just take your knees to the width of your mat and bring your big toes to kiss, and just start to take your chest bounce down towards the mat and just surrender your forehead fully down here. Just taking a few moments here just to connect with your breath. So you're starting to calm your mind and you're starting to empty that mind of any thoughts. So you want to start to give yourself this time to start to connect with that natural breath now. Feel that breath as it comes in and out that body. So starting to arrive on your mat and starting to arrive in your practice now. Beginning to maybe sway that head from side to side, just massaging that forehead there. And start to clear that thoughts from those minds. And forget any to-do lists, what you're doing after this session. Starting to take your mind towards your breath now, coming into more of a conscious breath. Begin to start to inhale deeply through that nose and exhale fully. And begin to feel the expansion towards that diaphragm as you fill those lungs full of fresh, rejuvenating oxygen. And as you exhale, imagine a black cloud, a dust of all the tension leaving your mind, leaving your body. Just let it go. Making those inhalations even stronger, even deeper and even richer now. Clearing any final thoughts from that mind. With every inhalation, you're calming your mind and your body is beginning to follow. Your heart rate is slowing, your breath is slowing. So I'd like to wish you a wonderful flow, and on that note we're going to begin to start to thread your right arm underneath that left and bring that right cheek down towards your mat as you start to create a bit of space within those shoulders. So you can stay here, or you can take that left arm behind and just place it on that lower back, or maybe tuck it into that right thigh as you start to open up a little bit more into those shoulders. You're trying to bring those right fingertips forward and you're still sending those sit bones down. Maybe you're closing your eyes here and you're still connecting towards that breath. There's no thoughts in your mind, just your deep connection to your breath. You're trying to send yourself into that nice semi-meditative state of mind by using our breath. If you've binded here, gently take your left arm and place it back towards the front of your mat. Ground down into your left hand, and that right hand is going to meet that left. You're back into that child's pose and just re-lengthening that spine. See if you've created a little bit of space there. Taking a deep inhale here, we're going to thread that left arm through, taking that left cheek down towards your mat. And you're extending those left fingertips through and those right fingertips forward. If you want to bind, you're gently taking that right arm either to that lower back or just gently tuck it into that thigh there. Just creating that little bit of space, that little bit of warmth towards our shoulders. If you've binded, releasing that bind, place your right arm back down towards your mat. Pushing to your palm and send that left arm through. Gently lifting your gaze and coming all the way up to a kneeling position, coming back into your tabletop position now. So your gaze is directly down within your palms and your shoulders are stacked over your wrists and your hips on top of your knees. Take a deep inhale as you lower your belly, lift your gaze and open your heart space. As you exhale, really start to round in that upper back, chin towards that chest, and pull your pelvis through. Be nice and active rounding that spine, really push away at your mat. Inhale, lower that belly with your core, don't just let it drop. Push your chest through and take your gaze upwards. As you exhale, really round in your upper back, chin to chest, and start to bring your belly button back towards your spine, connecting your core now. Inhale, we're lowering, lift your gaze, push your chest through. As you exhale, start to draw your chin towards your chest, start to bring your pelvis under and you're connecting there. We're holding and we're really pushing away at that mat. You want to feel your shoulders opening here for 3, for 2, for 1, gently releasing, coming back into your tabletop. So we're going to tuck that left foot under and we're going to tuck that right foot under, coming into your high plank now. If this is a little bit more, gently start to drop your knees down and you're still connecting your weight here. We're still warming in our shoulders. You're using your breath, making sure your hips are nice and down. Your gaze is directly between your palms. You've got that nice one lung line of energy. So you're bringing the weight backwards through those heels and we're holding here for 3. Stay strong in your stance for 2. Inhale, exhale for 1. Shoot your hips high towards the sky, coming into your downward facing dog. Gently making sure that you've got a slight bend to your knees if your hamstrings are really tight. If not, start to gently pedal those feet and just take your head from side to side, releasing any tension here. Going again within a warming, we inhale, we're going to roll forward back towards that high plank, staying strong here, making sure that you're really pushing away at your mat, your gaze is down. You're using your deep inhales and exhales to calm your mind, and that body is going to follow. If your mind is agitated, then your body is going to feel agitated. Use your breath, guys. Switch off that mind, it's not going to serve you. Holding for 1 more deep inhale, and as you exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Seeing if your heels come even closer down towards your mat. Once again, maybe swaying your head from side to side, releasing any tension, and move mindfully. So make sure you're connecting with your breath. You're moving mindfully. You're not just moving here. You're using your breath. 1 more. Inhale. We're going to roll it forward, high plank. We're just warming here, guys. Taking your gaze downwards, keeping your hips nice and down. Now start to push away at your mat. Have a nice roundness to your upper back like you did in your cat pose. Using your breath for 3, for 2, for 1. Shoot it back, downward facing dog. So ground down into your left leg, and we're going to raise that right leg, coming into our 3-legged dog. Take a deep bend to that right knee as you take your gaze underneath that left underarm, coming into your split dog. You're just creating a bit of space within those hips. Gently start to bring it all the way back. Pelvis is re-squared. Your hips are down towards your mat. Take your gaze forward and with ease and grace, step your right foot through. Lowering that back knee, you're coming into your low lunge setup. So lift your gaze here. Start to inhale, lengthening in that left leg. Start to bring your nose towards your knee as you fold here. Exhale, re-rise, re-bend. So we move with our breath, we're floating. Inhale, we lengthen, we lower. Exhale, we re-bend and we re-rise. 1 more. Inhale, we lengthen and we lower, and we're going to pause here, coming into your half monkey pose. Maybe flattening your hands down and taking your nose towards your knee or your chin towards your shin. So use your breath, don't overstretch. So every inhalation creates space. As you exhale, you're going to start to stretch here. Take 1 more deep inhalation. As you exhale, start to re-bend in your knee. Re-bend and lift your gaze. Start to take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, we rise our arms up like shooting arrows. So tuck that back toe under and start to come onto the ball of that foot, coming into your high lunge now. So we're starting to create a little bit more space within those hips.
So take your hands behind your head and create a basket grip, start to move there. On your inhale, we're going to lengthen in that right leg. On your exhale, we're going to rebend. Cores engaged, guys, we're keeping our balance. Inhale, we're going to lengthen. Exhale, we're going to rebend. One more. Inhale, we're going to lengthen. Exhale, moving with that breath. Sit a little bit lower. We're going to rebend here. That back leg is nice and strong. That leg is lifted, the kneecaps lifted, those quads are engaged, those glutes are engaged. Release your basket grip, re-raise your arms like shooting arrows here. Take your hands down to frame that front foot. Take your weight into that right leg as you rise that left, coming into your standing splits. So try to keep each hip nice and squared down. It's a forward fold. So you inhale and you exhale, start to draw your nose forward first, and then you raise your left leg high towards the sky. So we're going to move with our breath. So on our inhale, we're going to deeply bend that right knee. Tap that right calf with that left knee. We squat low. On your exhale, we're going to re-rise. Inhale, we lower and we tap. Exhale, we re-rise. One more. Inhale, we lower and we tap. Exhale, we re-rise. Sending that left foot back. Lift your gaze. You're in your runner's lunge. Plant your palms firmly down. Step that right foot back. You're in your high plank. Bring your knees together. Bring your ankles together. Roll over on that right edge of that foot as you send your left arm eye towards the sky, coming into your side plank now. Ground down into that right palm and really extend those left fingertips high towards the sky. If this pose is a little bit much for you, come down onto your bottom knee. You've got your options, guys. We're holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Left hand meets that right. Reopen your stance. You're back in your high plank. Inhale, prepare as you exhale, float it down. Roll over your toes, sending it back to your downward facing dog. And just breathe here, seeing if your heels are coming closer. Slow down your breath and just slow down your heart rate. Maybe move your head from side to side, just releasing any thoughts here, letting them go. So grounding down into your right foot, and we raise that left leg high towards the sky, coming back into your three-legged dog. Take a deep bend and come back into your split dog. See if you can take your gaze under that right underarm and you're searching for those left toes. Start to re-square your hips here. Take your gaze forward and step that left foot through. We know where this is going, so we're going to lower our back knee down and flatten that back foot. We're in that low lunge setup. Both hands are framing that front foot. As you inhale, we're going to lengthen here. Weight comes backwards, you're lowering. Move with your breath. As you exhale, we're going to re-rise. We're just floating with our breath. We're in that meditative state of mind, guys. No thoughts there. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, we rise. Every time we do it, we're creating more space. Inhale, we lower, and we're going to hold here. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Bring your nose towards your knee or your chin towards your shin as you come through to your half monkey pose. Maybe lowering down your palms and just breathing here. And use your breath to go deeper with every exhalation. So the inhale is an invite into your body. Your exhale, take your invitation and go a little bit deeper. Take one more deep inhalation. Start to re-bend your knee as you raise your prayer high towards the sky, coming into your low lunge here. So re-tuck that back knee under, that back foot, that right foot tucks under. We start to rise all the way up into our high lunge, making sure that that back leg is nice and switched on now. You're not relying on that front quad, you're sending some weight through that right heel. Bring your basket grip together and bring your basket grip to the back of your head. Moving with our breath. On your inhale, we rise, we lengthen. On your exhale, we deepen. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we deepen. Move with that breath. One more. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we deepen. Release that basket grip, come through to your high lunge and breathe here. Go a little bit deeper within that seat. Bring your hands to frame that front foot. We look forward, we're in that nice runner's lunge stance. Start to take the weight into that left leg now as you start to take flight with that right leg. Making sure that you use your standing splits as a forward fold, so move with your breath. So let's start to deepen within that left knee. We're tapping that right knee to that left calf. We squat low here. As you exhale, you re-rise. Inhale, you lower. Exhale, you rise. One more. Inhale, you lower. Exhale, you rise. Begin to take that right foot behind you. Lift your gaze, coming back into that runner's lunge. Bring your hands so they firmly frame that front foot. Step that left to meet that right. You're in your high plank. Stay with me, guys. You're doing great. Take a deep inhale. Lowering down, chaturanga. Roll over your toes, sending it back up. Bringing it all the way back through to your downward facing dog. Roll forward, you're in your high plank. Start to bring your ankles together, bring your knees together. Roll over your left palm as you raise your right arm to the sky this time, side plank. And know your options, lower that knee if needed. So listen to your body. Your body is your key. Move with that breath. Make sure your hips are nice and high and you're grounding down into that left palm. Send your right hand to meet your left. Come back into your high plank now. Staying nice and strong and rounding your shoulders here. You're back in that position where you're plumbing it down into that mat. Inhaling and exhaling fully. Shoot it back, downward facing dog. And just breathe here, maybe releasing any tension there, maybe rolling those feet from side to side. So take your gaze towards your palms. Step that right foot to the outer area of that right hand and that left foot to the outer area of that left hand. And we're going to come through into our Yogi Squat now. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me, guys. So making sure that your seat is nice and low and bring your elbows into those knees. If your heels are off that mat, this is where you could use blocks or maybe some blankets here. Sitting with our spine nice and long here and just close those eyes and just breathe. Reconnect with your breath, reconnect with your practice. So gently start to open your eyes. We're going to float within our squats now. So on your inhale, we're going to push into our feet as we rise all the way up to a standing position. As you exhale, we're going to go even lower now as we lower all the way back down into our Yogi Squat. Taking two more. Inhale, we're toning those legs, guys. Use that full breath on the inhale. Exhale, lowering all the way back down. One more. Inhale, we rise all the way back up. Exhale, we go even deeper into our Yogi Squat. We've created space within those hips. So place that left hand down onto your mat and extend that right arm high towards the sky and take your gaze to follow. So you can stay here or you can start to take that left arm behind and take that right arm behind, coming into a bind here. But remember, the key to the pose is to keep that chest nice and open and use your breath. If you've binded, start to release your bind. Right arm high towards the sky, left arm out towards the side. So begin to start to bring your prayer and your torso back to center. We're going to go for our second set. Stay with me, we're using your breath, stay strong. So on your inhale, really push down into your feet, raise your seat, start to raise all the way up. As you exhale, we're going to go down into our Yogi Squat. Two more. Inhale, we're going to rise. Exhale, we're going to lower. One more. Inhale, we're going to rise. Exhale, we're going to lower. Taking your prayer down now and making sure that you're sitting nice and low within your stance. You should be feeling nice and open within our hips. Taking your right arm out down towards your mat and extending your left arm up now. We're revolving. So knowing your options, you can stay here or take your left hand behind and search with it with your right, coming back into your bind. Still revolving your torso high towards the sky and still opening within those hips. So if you've binded, gently release the bind, extend your left arm high and send your right arm out towards the side. Bringing your prayer back together, bring your torso back to center. Start to take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands towards your mat, extend your feet and start to come into your forward fold. Start to pigeon toe your feet together, making sure that you've got a nice hip width stance to both feet. So start to bring your yogi bind around your big toes. Take an inhale and look forward, you've got that flat back. As you exhale, we start to rebend here, coming into that simple forward fold. So release that bind from that right foot and place that right hand onto that right hip. We're going to test our balance, so just take a few breaths here. So ground down into that right foot, micro bend that right knee as you lift that leg all the way back up to standing. Nice. If it takes you a few tries, just practice here, guys. Move with your breath. Tuck that left knee back in and lower that left leg back down. So see if we can go again. Ground down into your right foot, micro bend that knee, raising that torso, raise that left leg out towards the front. Lowering that left leg back all the way back down towards your mat. That right hand meets that right big toe. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, start to draw your nose forward, coming into that forward fold. So release that left bind now and place that left hand onto that left hip. Ground down into that left leg and micro bend that knee. Use your breath. Inhale, start to rise. Exhale, start to return. We're just playing with our balance here. One more. Inhale, ground down, micro bend your knee. Your core is engaged. Exhale, we start to bring it all the way back into center. Start to take your left hand back towards that yogi bind. Bring your prayer back to your heart space and pigeon toe your feet, then now hip width again. Turn your ankles, your heels in and your feet out. Start to sit your seat nice and low, coming back into your yogi squat, seeing if you've created any more space than you did earlier on in the pose. Gently bring your hands behind your back. Start to swing your seat towards your mat as you extend your legs forward. Start to place your right foot within that left leg now and see if that right knee floats down towards that mat. Start to bring that torso more center towards that left leg. Take an inhale, create your space. As you exhale, inject your hips as you forward fold over that left leg. And move with your breath, test your breath. So inhale, create a bit of space. As you exhale, start to deepen here. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, release, and we're starting to rise it all the way back up. Take your right hand below your sit bones, push into your right hand and raise your seat as you extend your left arm overhead. Breathing here, using your breath. Maybe close your eyes, maybe bring your hand to your heart space and just feel the pose. Gently start to lower your seat back down towards your mat and that right leg comes back out to meet your left. Start to take your left foot now into that right leg. Making sure both sit bones are nice and rooted here. So turn your torso more centered towards the right. Take an inhale, grow tall. Inch at those hips as you forward fold over that right leg. And one small point to practice what you've learned here, move with your breath. Inhale creates the space at your invite. Exhale, take the invite, take the space. Take one more deep inhalation. As you exhale, rise it all the way back up. Taking that left hand behind your sit bones now, push down into your left hand as you raise your seat and your right arm extends overhead. Gently start to lower your sit bones back down towards your mat, taking your left leg out to meet that right. Bring both feet so they're nice and flat at the front of your mat. Start to make your way down towards your mat, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae all the way down until you reach your mat. Start to draw both knees into your chest, coming into a small ball and just rock from side to side here. So begin to make your yogi bind once again. Start to place your yogi bind around your big toes and just send your feet towards the sky, coming into a happy baby pose here. I want you just to empty any tension from those hips. We've worked within our hips with all those yogi squats, so we just want to release any tension that's lingering there. Maybe continue to rock from side to side as you release any tension from that lower spine. Gently beginning to start to draw those knees back together. Draw those knees back into center, come into your small ball. Raise your nose towards your knees, giving yourself a well-deserved hug, honoring your mind, body and soul. Gently releasing all the way back down. Placing those hands on those knees and just making small circles here, making sure all the tension has left that body. When you're ready, extending one leg to your mat and extend your other leg to your mat. Bring your arms out by your side, coming through to your final position, your corpse pose, your Savasana. So nothing to do here but rest. This is where your body's going to download. This is where it's going to reap the benefit from all your hard work. So let there be a nice softness to your body. Let those ankles naturally drop to your sides. There's a soft curling to your fingertips, and just gently close your eyes here and just relax. Releasing any breath, releasing any bandhas, just release and let it go. Releasing any thoughts, continuing to just practice here that non-attachment to those thoughts, guys. Just let them go. Just give yourself this time to just be. Your mind is calm and your body is followed. Sustain in your Savasana for as long as you need. Gently start to draw those knees back into that chest. When you're ready, coming over to a small ball to your right hand side. Bringing a soft, loving smile onto those lips, which is always your birthright. Gently pushing into your left palm and bringing yourself all the way back up to a seated position. Bringing our prayers to our heart space, and thank you for joining me today, giving yourself time to honor your mind, body and soul. I hope to see you on your mat soon. Namaste, guys.